Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to this month's program of Treasure of Knowledge. Today I'll be reviewing a book called Islamic Philosophy and Muslim Philosophers. This book is authored by Dr. Hussain Mohi-ud-Din Qadri. Islamic philosophy and Muslim philosophers aims to demonstrate that Islam is not incompatible to science, philosophy, or the pursuit of knowledge. Instead, it portrays how Islamic thought has historically encouraged the flowering of a rich civilization steeped in the philosophical inquiry. The book spans the historical evolution from early Islamic encounters with Greek philosophy to the modern interpretations and reforms within Islamic thought, touching on major philosophical questions about knowledge, existence, time, and the universe. This book contains 8 chapters in which I'll be giving a brief summary of each chapter. Chapter 1 is titled History of Philosophy. This chapter provides a fundamental understanding of how Islamic philosophy was influenced by early traditions, particularly those of Greeks, Romans, Hindus, and Persians. It discusses the adaptation and transformation of Neoplatonism within Islamic thought, the initiation of Islamic philosophy during the early Islamic period, and how these historical dialogues contributed to the development of a rich philosophical lexicon in the Arabic language. Key philosophical ideologies such as the nature of God's authority, human freedom, and the afterlife are explained in detail, showing how Islamic philosophers integrated these concepts with theological principles. Chapter 2: Islamic Philosophical Trends. Dividing into the mystical dimensions of Islamic philosophy, this chapter explores Sufism's intricate relationship with philosophical thought, addressing common conceptions of criticism. It discusses the concept of the perfect man, the philosophy of the unity of the being, and the systematic approach to Sufism as a philosophic system. Additionally, this chapter looks at ethics within Islamic philosophy, focusing on debates around divine power of human ethnical responsibilities, highlighting contributions from noble philosophers like Imam al-Ghazi. Chapter 3: Encouraging seeking of knowledge, research and inquiry in Islam. Focusing on the Quranic encouragement for knowledge and inquiry, this chapter outlines the scriptural and historical justifications for the pursuit of wisdom within Islam. It addresses the integration of science and reasoning in Islam education and discusses the nature and purpose of knowledge, emphasizing the critical role of intellectual exploration in Islamic traditions. Chapter 4: The Beginning of the Kalam. This chapter provides an overview of the Kalam, the Islamic theological philosophy detailing its origins and the major schools of thought. It examines how these schools interpreted and debated concepts like the creation of the universe, God's attributes, and the nature of faith and reason. The efforts to reconcile philosophical reasoning with the theological doctrines are also mentioned and highlighted, showcasing the deep intellectual diversity within Islamic theology. Chapter 5: Philosophical Discourses. An exploration of major philosophical debates such as cause and effect, the nature of time and space, and the principles of causality as discussed in tradition Kalam. This chapter discusses the philosophical positions of key figures like Imam al-Ghazali, as well as the modern Islamic perspectives as these topics. It also addresses how these philosophical discourses have influenced the understanding of science in these Islamic thought. Chapter 6: Muslim Philosophers. Detailed accounts of the lives and intellectual contributions of several major Muslim philosophers are provided. From the earliest philosophers like Al-Kindi and Al-Farabi to later thinkers such as Ibn Sina and Al-Ghazali. The chapter examines their philosophical theories. The chapter also touches on the impact these philosophers had on both Islamic and Western philosophical traditions. Chapter 7: The need for Islamic thought and philosophy. Discussing the contemporary challenges and opportunities within Islamic philosophy, this chapter argues for a philosophical renaissance to address modern issues. It explores various movements and counter-movements within Islamic thought, from Salafi to liberal interpretations, and discusses the barriers to reforming Islamic philosophy in today's climate. Chapter 8: The continuation of the renewal of Islamic thought in the contemporary era and Shaykh al-Islam Dr. Muhammad Qadri. This chapter focuses on the efforts of Dr. Muhammad Qadri and in continuing the renewal of Islamic thought through his extensive work and education. Counter-extremism, economics and social welfare. Its philosophical and practical approaches to modernizing Islamic thought, promoting peace and security, and establishing frameworks for economic and educational reform. Islamic Philosophy and Muslim Philosophers by Dr. Hussain Mohi-ud-Din Qadri is an invaluable resource for anybody interested in the intersections of faith, philosophy, and history. This book offers a profound exploration into how Islamic thought has shaped and been shaped by philosophical debates throughout centuries. It is not merely a historical account, but a lively discourse that connects past insights with present challenges, making it relevant for our contemporary readers. The importance of this book lies in its comprehensive coverage of Islamic philosophical traditions from their influenced by Greek and Roman thoughts. Through the flowering of the golden age of Islam to the dialogues of the modern era, the detailed examination of key philosophers and their works provides readers with a deep understanding of their evolution of philosophical thought within Islam. Dr. Muhammad Qadri's work is particularly crucial today as it addresses misconceptions about the compatibility of Islamic thought with modern science and philosophy. The book argues convincingly that Islam has a rich tradition of inquiry and intellectual exploration, which is often overlooked in contemporary discussions about religion and science. By presenting Islamic philosophy as a dynamic and evolving field, Dr. Muhammad Qadri invites readers to see Islam in a different light, one that is progressively intellectually engaging and continually seeking knowledge. Furthermore, the book is essential read for those interested in how philosophy can serve a bridge between different cultures and historic periods. It highlights the universal themes of ethnical dilemmas and the pursuit of knowledge, making the philosophical discourses with Islam relevant to a global audience. This relevance is underscored by the discussion of modern challenges and the need for a renaissance in Islam through to address contemporary issues effectively. By reading Islamic philosophy and Muslim philosophers, individuals gain not only a deeper appreciation of Islamic intellectual heritage, but also insights into how these philosophical traditions can contribute to current global discussions on ethics, politics, and intercultural relations. This book encourages a more understanding of Islamic philosophy as a living tradition that continues to offer profound insights into the human condition and to pursuit of wisdom. In conclusion, this book is a must-read for scholars, students, and anyone interested in the philosophical foundation of one of the world's great religions and its implication for modern thought and society. It provides not only knowledge but also a perspective that fosters dialogue, understanding, and a deeper appreciation of the diverse world we live in. So this was the book, Islamic Philosophy and Muslim Philosophers. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.